After a long day at work, I returned home, completely exhausted and ready to relax. But when I entered the apartment, something seemed off. It was quiet, too quiet. Usually, my cat, Marquis, would greet me at the door, but this time he was nowhere to be seen. I started calling his name, but there was no answer. A strange feeling of unease crept over me, and I began to check his favorite spots in the apartment. But there was no trace of Marquis anywhere. I became even more worried. Suddenly, I heard a faint sound coming from the bedroom. My heart started racing as I approached the door. I slowly opened it and saw Marquis sitting on the bed, but his gaze was strange. He seemed frightened. As I got closer, I saw my name written in blood on the wall behind him. I froze in horror. How could this happen? What kind of creature or force could have entered my apartment and done such a thing? Suddenly, the door behind me slammed shut, and I heard a whisper behind me. Turning around, I saw Marquis' face, but it was no longer my cat. There was something sinister in his eyes, something that didn't belong to this world. I realized I was alone with something ominous that had invaded my life and turned it into a nightmare. But what it was and how I could protect myself from it, I didn't know. I recoiled from the ghostly Marquis, feeling fear enveloping me completely. My rationality tried to find an explanation for this nightmare, but all my thoughts were filled with fear. Deciding that staying in this place was no longer an option, I turned to run, but the door through which I had entered disappeared. I found myself trapped in the room with this creature that had taken on the form of my beloved pet. But then I remembered that I had a phone in my pocket. Maybe I could call for help. I took out the phone, but to my horror, it was dead. No signal, no charge, it was just dead. It felt like every minute spent in this hell was an eternity. I struggled with panic, trying to keep calm. Suddenly, the ghostly Marquis approached me, and I saw his form beginning to fade, as if evaporating into thin air. This was my chance. I dashed towards where the door had once been and passed through the emptiness. Finding myself on the other side, I rushed towards the exit of the building, not looking back. When I finally burst out into the fresh air, my heart still pounding, I realized that the world I lived in could be much more dangerous than I had ever imagined. And now I had to seek answers and protection from this evil before it returned. Escaping the nightmare, I ran until I reached a safe place, the police station. There, I told my entire story about the strange and frightening incident with Marquis and the mysterious blood-written name on the wall. The police began an investigation based on my testimony, but no traces or clues were found. However, during the questioning process, I discovered that not only I had encountered such strange phenomena, other residents of the neighborhood also reported mysterious and horrifying events happening to their pets and domestic animals. Realizing that this problem exceeded my own situation, I joined a group of people eager to solve the mystery and combat the evil that penetrated our world through our most cherished beings. With collective reasoning and determination, we began the investigation, studying ancient texts and consulting experts in mysticism and occultism. Our journey led us to revelations about an ancient ritual that summoned spirits and could lead to problems with the world of spirits and the material world. Through joint efforts, We managed to uncover the scheme of the ritual and take steps to destroy it, freeing our pets and preventing further attacks. My story became part of a larger narrative in which people fought against dark forces penetrating our world through the most innocent and defenseless creatures.